dash of Hilltopper spirit in the holiday season. Welcome everybody to Western Kentucky University's Diddle Arena in Bowling Green. Tonight it's depth and discipline versus pressure and physicality as Campbellsville meets WKU next on ESPN+. Welcome everyone down into Diddle Arena. I'm Riley Chestnut. It's a pleasure to be with you alongside the better looking Jay Walton. And Mr. Walton, Campbellsville's depth's got them off to their best start this decade, while WKU's looking to reassert itself after a lopsided loss at Marshall.
Yeah, Campbellsville comes in 12-1. They're off to a great start. They're very balanced. The guys know their roles on that team. They play with great chemistry. And like you said, West Kentucky looking to bounce back from a tough outing at Marshall in their last game.
Turning over to our players to watch on this beautiful night for basketball. First, for Campbellsville's 12-1 Tigers on a roster with variety and well-defined roles, our attention falls on CU's emotional anchor inside, Jay Milburn.
Yeah, you mentioned he's their emotional leader. He's their most physical inside player, but he's skilled. He can do some things away from the basket as well.
On the opposite side, Terrion Murdick's absence has forced freshman phenom Armello Boone to play more point. Shooting 38% since the role shift, tonight's question is how can Boone find his shot and blend necessity with assertiveness?
Yeah, Boone is a freshman who's made an impact early in this season, and you know, you're 10 games in, you're not a freshman anymore. You're expected to step in and play your role, and like you said, he's got big shoes to fill with Murdick's being out, and struggled from the field in his last two games. He's want to make sure he gets good looks early in this contest tonight.
Let's turn our attention, of course, to tonight's keys to victory for the Campbellsville Tigers. To stay on Coach Brent Vernon's nice list, I believe you've got to be able to get downhill if you're WKU. So how can this non-NCAA squad limit their drive success?
Well, when you're the underdog in an environment like this, the key is to get off to a great start. Transition defense is the first way to do that. They don't want to give West Kentucky opportunities on the fast break, forced to play a half-court game.
Of course, for WKU to stay on Hank Plona's nice list, high urgency from tip-off to final tick is paramount. So with CUSA play 2 weeks away, it's time for WKU to dial in and sharpen their swords. It's Tigers versus Tops, and the tune-up is happening right now. We're ready to rock and roll here on John Oldham Court, people. Hank Plona is fired up, this Hilltopper team having to weather the storm as Noah Boyd gets to go in the starting center spot tonight against Milburn, and the tip is corralled by Campbellsville. Let's get this party started right. Ball in the hands of Campbellsville's Milburn as he slings it left corner for the open three, and that ball is splashed home as Campbellsville finds the open man.
That typical possession for them offensively. A lot of guys touch the ball. Excellent movement and spacing, and extra pass there from Milburn for the open three in the corner.
Jay Milburn already getting his hands on Campbellsville's successful start early as more drives to the hole and finishes. And there's that physicality the Hilltoppers hope to employ today.
Yeah, they're going to have a bit of a size advantage, no doubt. And Tegan Moore does what he does best, getting the ball around the rim and finishing.
So Ty-Shay Epps gives the ball up to the go-to scorer for this Campbellsville team, Dalton Kramer. And the ball gets wrestled down to the ground and saved by Boyd. Boyd trying to avoid the tie-up, slips it to Myers. There's the steal by WKU. Hackman with a hard drive, kicks it out front for the swing. Newell sets it up and gets fouled on the three. Grant Newell goes to the free throw line to shoot three different shots for WKU.
Yeah, tough foul right there. You never want to foul the three-point shooter. So make him take a contested shot. Now he's got three shots instead of a miss and a defensive rebound.
Grant Newell, 72% foul shooter this year, hits his first. We're tied at 3, a minute and 2 seconds into this contest. So WKU with Newell looking for 2. Gets that one there and has one more on the way to put the Tops up by 2. Another thing to watch for is how can this Hilltopper team keep the pace to their liking. Obviously, they are a fast-moving team, and that puts a team like Campbellsville, even as good as they are, at a disadvantage.
Yeah, they definitely want to force the tempo tonight, get up and down, create some opportunities in transition.
There's the starting lineups for Campbellsville's 12-1 Tigers. Dalton Kramer, their lead scorer, averaging nearly 17 a game. As the handoff goes to Ty-Shay Epps. Ball gets swung around into Milburn. Milburn backs Newell down in the post, avoids the double-team strip. And the whistle blows. Reach-in foul called on Hackman, the first of the Hilltoppers' day.
Milburn working in the post there. He can score with his back to the basket, but he's also a very good passer, always looking for cutters when he has the ball in that mid-post area. Fouled on the pass on that possession.
All saddled in the corner, trying to get out of trouble. Javon Smith, one of two key Smiths to this Campbellsville roster, as Moore tries to jump the pass for the steal and loses it on the sideline. Seems pretty evident with this NAIA squad the Hilltoppers are playing. Anytime they get a turnover, they want to run, run, run.
Well, this Campbellsville team, they don't turn it over much. They really do a great job of taking care of the ball.
There's another steal forced by WKU. The defense trying to play with full court urgency for 40 minutes as the starting lineup for WKU's presented. Noah Boyd given a spot in the starting role tonight as Grant Newell's trying to step back for three, slips out of bounds. Campbellsville takes the possession back as WKU tries to sharpen its pencils here in the final pre-conference week of their season. Conference opener at Jacksonville State, a finalist in the tournament a year, goes just 2 weeks away now. Epps the step back three, slings it in. Campbellsville with two triples, leads 6-5, 2 minutes in.
A lot of guys that can shoot. You really have to guard a lot of area of the floor when you're playing against this Campbellsville team.
Campbellsville shooting nearly 37% from downtown as a team, averaging nearly 79 points a game as Myers, who's been on a heater the last couple of games, gets a three ball to fall. Of course, that's what Ryan Myers was brought in to do for WKU. His ability to hit the three ball was a big reason why Hank Plona picked him up in the portal out of Western Illinois.
He's been their best shooter for sure so far this season.
Good slip pass inside to Milburn, and this Campbellsville team looking so well organized, staying in the battle early as both teams have 8 points through the first 3 minutes of action. Battle between NAIA Mid-South contender Campbellsville and WKU's hopeful CUSA contenders as Myers with a front end drive gets to the strong hand and lays it home.
Well, you have to honor his three-point shot. He's been shooting it so well. So that straight line drive right there, you got to get out and contest the three. It allows him to get some space to the basket.
There's a dump down pass orchestrated between Briggs and Milburn. And that connection's worked well for Campbellsville. The high-low feed has them knotted at 10 with WKU. Hackman from the far corner, in and out on the three. Rebound rims out to Milburn. Campbellsville comes to collect. Kramer the handoff, open three by Epps, too strong. WKU trying to keep the pace to their liking, moves it ahead of Newell. Hackman looks in, backs out to the far wing. Boyd inserted in the starting lineup, gives it to Moore. Moore out to Hackman. Now Newell. Double team pass to Hackman. Right wing three beats the closeout and bricks off the back ring as Kramer falls, keeps the rebound for Campbellsville though. Good to see for CU the composure they're showing so far as they get the opening from deep, and that three ball was good looking, but it wasn't good finishing. Now Myers looking over his side, holds the ball. Hilltoppers tied at 10, nearly 5 minutes into this warm-up test against NAIA Campbellsville. Team from the heart of the Commonwealth, out of the Mid-South Conference. Shot clock under 10. Myers steps up for three. Short. Boyd tips the rebound. There's a chase. And on the sideline, Myers wrestles the ball away but steps out. Campbellsville basketball as we reach our first media timeout. A back and forth battle between these two proud programs of the Commonwealth. All knotted up at 10, nearly 5 minutes in. You're watching college basketball on ESPN+. Campbellsville led by 10th year head coach Brent Vernon, taking them all the way to the NAIA National Tournament as both a head coach and an assistant. This is a guy that's produced a lot of winners, and he's got this Campbellsville team off to its best start since 2019 at 12-1.
Yeah, he likes his team, obviously. 12-1. What else do you want, right? But yeah, they have high aspirations for Mid-South Conference play as well as nationally, in the NAIA. So this is a big test for them. Meanwhile,
you've got Hank Plona in year 2 as the head man here at Western Kentucky. He's got this team off to a 6-3 start that had them at one point competing with a top 25 Vanderbilt team down in the Bahamas to a final draw of only 5 points down. But Campbellsville early, relying on their three-point shot, which has been something the Tops defense has had trouble controlling, as Kramer strokes another three, the third already for the Tigers.
Yeah, all the threes they've taken so far have been really good looks after several passes and a lot of ball movement. That's why they make a high percentage.
Dalton Kramer, 34% three-point shot this year as Armello Boone watches Newell save the pass to Boyd. WKU almost giving the one back as Moore bounce feed to Boyd, right block, and he hammers it home.
Good job by Boyd on the screen, gets a little separation, rolls hard to the basket, and Tegan Moore finds him for the easy finish.
So WKU cutting it to a 1-point lead as Campbellsville has got momentum early. This Tigers team can hit you in waves. That platoon that they sub in place of the starters, just as strong a group as anybody, as that left corner three is too strong. Boyd covers, and WKU gets running down one. Myers cutting quickly, kicks it, open corner three by Newell, off the front ring. Boone, the offensive board, puts it up and hits. I'd love to see that from Armello Boone, who's been struggling since he's had to play more point in the absence of Terrion Murdix.
Yeah, when you're struggling for the field, it's always good to make your first look a good one. And that, offensive rebound, paint shot, that's what you want out of the gate.
Swing around, wide open three ball is short rimmed off of the hand of Evan Frederick. WKU dodging a bullet, but Campbellsville generating some really great outside looks so far. Boone, right wing, holds it and flips it to Boyd. The swing passes lead Myers to try a three ball, and he can't collect, but the rebound gets wrestled down out of bounds by Boone. Campbellsville basketball. Well, if you're the Hilltopper fans here in attendance, Jay, as Louis Simona III checks in, what do you make of this start between them and Campbellsville?
Well, Campbellsville done a great job. As we said earlier, they want to keep Western Kentucky out of transition. They've gotten back on defense and made Western play a half-court game so far. That's the main reason they're off to such a great start. Also hit several threes already out of the gate.
Corner three, pocket shot, missed off the rim. Myers runs up the rebound, looks to Simona in transition for that corner three, and he splashes it home on the right wing.
That's a great look. That's the kind of three-point shots you want in transition. Wide open, kick up, and Simona able to knock it down.
Tavion Smith brings it over timeline, flips it to Evans. This Campbellsville team goes 9 deep for their production as a team averaging nearly 80 through a 12-1 start in the NAIA level. Evans down low, short off the rim. Moore races in to cover the miss, and WKU gets running. Newell down the middle, attacking the hoop. Fouled on the way up. There's that physicality.
Yeah, and they've back-to-back possessions got out and able to run off of defensive rebounds, and Grant going to the line for 2 shots here. Just an excellent job running the floor. That's what they want.
Foul on Parker Jones, one of those signature bench pieces. Newell at the line where he already made 2 earlier, and he hits the third. So WKU boosting their lead up 18-13 on an 8-0 run in the last 2 minutes. Campbellsville, as you see Rob Briggs on the screen, another signature bench piece, averaging 12 minutes and 14 appearances off the bench. This is yet the start tonight in place for Campbellsville, who is missing one of their starters. Both these teams dealing with injuries early. But Campbellsville shaking off the rust as Simona meets Kramer. Kramer the kick. Pass flipped out to Briggs. Briggs the hand back. Close quarter defense by WKU and man-to-man. The pass thrown away off the back fade to Simona. Tops on the run. Simona down the lane. Scoop is short, but the foul is collected. Hilltoppers doing what they do best, generating most of their offense this season off of foul shots.
Yeah, top 10 in the country at getting to the foul line. They're very aggressive, especially in transition, and it's back-to-back possessions where big guys run the floor, getting to all the way to the paint and making it happen.
Luis Simona gets his first free throw to fall, already hit the 3 on the right wing. Simona up to 4 points, trying to insert himself into the lineup and maybe needing to after the latest injury we were told about before tonight's game. We'll get to that, of course, a little bit later on. It's a big update for the Hilltopper fans to follow. But right now, Campbellsville trying to get back into rhythm as the reach and foul is called against WKU. And it breaks us into another stoppage. 21-13, Western Kentucky with 11 straight. We'll see if they can keep up their pace with an update on the injury board after this on ESPN+. So the Hilltoppers letting everyone know earlier today that Terrion Murdix, who's been out with a right knee injury since the South Florida game, and now Brian Celebonge's season comes to an end due to a torn Achilles he suffered last week at Marshall. Season-ending surgery happening for Brian Celebonge, and it's a tough loss for one of the better physical enforcers for WKU and one of their better rebounders.
Yeah, it's a big blow to West Kentucky and just a heartbreaker for that young man. I really admired the way he played. He was their most physical guy, did all the dirty work. You know, rarely, if ever, got a play called for him, but just made an impact on both ends of the floor. And so who's going to step up and fill those shoes? There's rebounds to be had. There's putbacks to be had. There's energy, you know, that needs to be brought to this West Kentucky team. And, you know, Louis Simona right now, early in this game, making an impact. Already hit a three, got himself to the foul line. And so opportunity for that young man, as well as several other Hilltoppers, to step up and fill those shoes left by Brian Celebonge's injury.
And Louis Simona, who did not score any points in a Western jersey until the last game at Marshall, now up to 5 points after he had 4 last week. So Louis Simona may be a beneficiary of some additional playing time with the injury that ends Brian Celebonge's season for WKU. Are driving up the way, still 21-13 after both teams failed to get a score on their opening possession. And now the collision course down low, ricocheted off the block by Newell. Simona pushes, flips it out to Hackman. Hilltoppers winning all the big hustle plays so far, feeling the spirit of Celebonge slipping into their sides. Hackman, baseline drive, the hook pass tipped. Swung over to Simona, he fakes. Hard action between Campbellsville and WKU as Hafner, the three-point shooter, kicks to Hackman. Hackman with Kramer, hard drive, right side floater off the window is scored by Hackman. What a pretty finish.
Yeah, pretty good defense there by Kramer, just better offense. Just got the shoulder into the defender and great body control, finding the glass with the finish.
This is a physical WKU team that knows how to play through contact. But the drive given away leads to the easy score by Marcellus Vale, one of the bench pieces for this deep Campbellsville team. Score now 23-15 Western Kentucky as Armello Boone, just getting the ball over half court, seems to be setting the offense into motion with his first pass. Boone catching. A hook shot in the post, gets to work on Kramer for another hook and hits again. Armello Boone finding his form early offensively.
Yeah, he's such a versatile guy, you know, could do a lot of things for this Hilltopper squad, and he liked that mismatch right there. And I think you might see more of that if they continue to get that matchup.
On the hands of Briggs and now moved over into the hands of Smith. Bumped by Boone, and the blocking foul called against Armello Boone. He doesn't like it, but he was moving right with him.
A little bit too much body there on the drive.
Hilltoppers, no stranger to substitutions. Hank Plona likes to use every single ounce of his roster that he can. Subs in Boyd, Tegan Moore, and Ryan Myers back into the contest.
Yeah, tonight's the kind of night where, you know, dealing with these injuries, it's an opportunity to fill out who can step in, who can bring what to my team.
WKU with 3 different 5-point scorers to carry the load. Simona, Myers, and Newell as that 3-ball bricks off the back ring all the way out to Campbellsville's Javon Smith for a Tavion Smith tray. And Smith strokes it as Campbellsville remains committed to the 3-ball.
Well, Tavion Smith has been Campbellsville's best shooter at 48% from 3. He's on a tear as well.
Campbellsville down 7, 4 of 10 from downtown, sticking with the perimeter that they've used to their benefit, averaging nearly 80 a game through their 12-1 start against NAIA teams as that ball is swatted and stolen away by Milburn. Campbellsville on the return. Vale to Smith. Milburn screen gets Vale a look, and he shortens the 3-ball. Simona skies for the board. Playing like a point forward, Simona brings it up. The former Stonehill kid flips it out to Moore, far left corner. Myers cut off, out to Hafner. Hafner not afraid to shoot when he catches, but didn't get the look he wanted there. Now Simona circles, bounce feed inside to Boyd, tip back to Simona, out to Hafner, right wing 3, good!
Sometimes better to be lucky than good. Just a almost busted play, forced pass by Simona, but right into the hands of your best three-point shooter, or one of them anyway, in Cam Hafner.
Cam Hafner took a while to get going, but since then, shooting 39% from downtown, which fits his career profile as an excellent outside shooter. Ball ricocheted and saved for the steal by Moore. Here comes WKU up 10, 8 minutes to go in the first half. Into Boyd. Boyd one dribble through contact to the hole, lays it in, and one. That's why he was playing in the SEC a year ago. He brings us to break. Noah Boyd will shoot the and one, taking a big breath. Hilltoppers up 30-18, playing some strong man basketball and hitting all the big shots so far as you watch college ball on ESPN+. John Oldham Court, the side here in Diddle Arena, as WKU's physicality has earned them a 30-18 advantage over this three-point heavy shooting Campbellsville team. And plays like this are the reason why WKU is trying to stick with the physicality that's gotten them to 6-3.
Well, Boyd does a great job of finding Moore in the screen and transition. He knows right where to go after that, straight to the rim, and I love how he gathered himself, had a big, strong, wide base, able to go up through the contact and finish. So good start for Boyd tonight in his first start. Yeah.
Could be a guy that receives some extra minutes and needs to after the injury that ends Brian Silabonge's season, a torn ACL, the diagnosis after he only played 4 minutes off the bench last Wednesday at Marshall. Brian Silabonge's season, and being a graduate who's played a lot of minutes this year, maybe the career is coming to a close, which you hate to hear about if you're Brian Silabonge.
Yeah, just a tough way for it to end for him, and just wish him the best as he recovers from that injury.
Another three ball by Campbellsville. That's been their bread and butter so far. 5 threes against a Hilltopper defense liable to give away a few. Newell on the swing out. 5 points early. Drives to the hole and kicks to Moore. His corner three. Too strong. Boyd, the offensive board, goes up. Misses the dunk, but got fouled on the way up by Milburn. Noah Boyd inserting himself and having quite the performance so far. Boyd already with 3 rebounds for Western Kentucky, showing why this 7-footer's got some real strength to him.
Yeah, just finds the weak side there on the long miss from Moore, and not able to finish, but gets himself to the line.
On the other side of it, if you're going to foul anybody, Campbellsville certainly not afraid to foul Noah Boyd, who is not a great foul shooter in his career or this season. Hits that one though, sweet as candy. And it's 31-21, WKU up on NAIA's 12-1 Campbellsville Tigers. So far, what have you liked about the physicality the Hilltoppers have brought, Jay?
Well, they are taking it to the basket. They know they have the size advantage, and have hurt Campbellsville a little bit on the offensive glass.
While the passing that's been so prevalent for Campbellsville through their 12-1 start, showcasing itself with that signature slam on a great frontline cut from the far wing. Jay Milburn, so good at the top of the key, setting up that play.
Yeah, not a lot of guys his size can step out away from the basket and make passes like that. It's a beautiful bounce pass, led his guy right to the bucket for the dunk.
Is he a better passer than his dad was there, Jay? I know you two played against each other.
Yeah, we did. He was his dad, Brian, known him for a long time. We were opponents. He was a Vanderbilt Commodore back in the mid-90s when I was at Mississippi State. And I don't know. We'll have to go back and watch some highlights of Brian to tell if he could pass it like that.
Noah Boyd, the ball just seems to be gravitating to the former LSU Fighting Tiger. Of course, Boyd's been on his own storyline. Didn't play a lot last year, had some lingering knee problems that impacted his transition to WKU, and is now called upon to try and step up as he hits that free throw.
Well, coaches like to say sometimes that the ball finds energy, and so far that's been the case for Boyd tonight. He's been active. He's getting position on the offensive glass, and you know, the ball's coming to him. And he's stepping up and made a few free throws here, and so making an impact.
Great to see for Noah Boyd as he strokes both those free throws. Boyd now leading Western Kentucky in his first start of the year with 7 points and 4 boards, impacting the game in a variety of ways as him and Simona called upon to take up the minutes occupied by former 6-man big Brian Silabonge after he tore his ACL last week. Now WKU, without the services of Silabonge, forces the action for a steal. Tops on the drive, look to Newell. Newell spins, Throws it to Boone. His hook shot in the post is short. And the rebound is swallowed up there by Campbellsville's Ty-Shay Epps. Kramer up ahead. Campbellsville so slippery getting to the basket, but trying to keep their possessions in hand. That ball goes out and remains Campbellsville's basketball.
Strong drive by Parker Jones and really good hands by Grant Newell to save a layup.
Campbellsville with the trigger. See the last touch off Western Kentucky. Now in the corner, Campbellsville trying to get back into the flow of things, down 10. A very competitive first half against a D1 team. That three from Smith doesn't go anywhere, but to Boone, and Boone pushes for Western. Boone with a cross slip to the right lane, lays it up and home. What a move by Boone!
Well, he got down there quick, didn't he?
Oh, my goodness.
Somebody's got to stop the ball for Campbellsville, and Boone with an acrobatic finish in transition.
Armello Boone bringing the action here. Now tips the ball out of Evans' hands as he floats the hook shot, and Boone rewards himself with the one-armed rebound. WKU right in Boone as he finds Simona for the fake out left wing. The Toppers electing to play low and slow, up 12 with 5 minutes left in the first half as Newell's three rims off to the left side, and the rebound gets saved in by Epps right to Myers and then thrown to the leg of Kramer for Campbellsville's possession. Can't draw that one up. Now Kramer driving on the big Newell, runs the hook shot wide, and Boone clears it. Boone attacking, kicking to Simona. Open three on the way. Misses everything. A great look that doesn't go. WKU with a couple chances, still struggling to hit the three ball consistently despite their recent uptick. Left wing three by Smith, airballed right to Newell. Both teams losing some of their luster from deep. Campbellsville in an extended scoring drought, trying to hang in this one with WKU as Boone backs out with Kramer. Bounces the pass away to Evans. Campbellsville collects on the run. Kramer back to Smith. Up top to Evans. Evans plays like a point forward, looking over to scan the offense and hands to Kramer. Swing pass, corner three on the way. Splash! Timeout for Hank Plona. And I agree, if you're Hank Plona, you're tired of seeing the Tops give away threes.
Much needed basket for Campbellsville on that possession. It's been a little bit of a drought for them, and good to see one go down.
Only a single-digit game as WKU leads by 9 with 4 minutes, 10 seconds left. We'll be back here on ESPN+. With the score 35-26 WKU, 4:10 remains in the first half against NAIA Campbellsville. And Jay, so far the story has been the Hilltoppers' physicality against Campbellsville's outside shooting.
Well, that's how Campbellsville's staying connected in this game right now. They've made 6 threes already. You see Javon Smith knocking one down the last possession. And Riley, I got to shout this out. I had to look at the stat sheet several times to make sure I was reading right. Javon Smith just made that shot. He's in his 14th game of the season. That's 3 turnovers. That's incredible. And factor in that he's making 38% from distance, and that's just winning basketball right there. So hats off to him, and going to need to hit a few more of those tonight for Campbellsville to hang around.
Tegan Moore finishing strong. Comes up a little limp and tries to get back up the floor. You'd hate to see another injury for this Hilltopper team that's already lost Terrion Murdix for an extended amount of time. And now for the season, Brian Silabonge. Credit to the turnover forced there on the high hedge by the taller Hilltoppers.
A little run and jump there from West Kentucky for the first time, and indeed forced the turnover. And Tegan Moore going to go to the sideline, limping off a little bit, and hopefully just a slight roll of an ankle and get it taped back up and get back out there.
Ryan Myers off the screen from Blaze Cada. Watches Hafner slide in the post, take the shot and get blocked. Ball bounces into Cada's hands, and he looks out front to Myers for the 3 ball. Cash. Ryan Myers, salute to him. The 3-point shooter flies again.
Yeah, he's not going to miss very many of those when he's that open. Been the Hilltoppers' best 3-point shooter so far this season, and looks like that are going to go down most of the time.
Ryan Myers, now in 4 of his last 5 games, Jay, he's had multiple threes, has really started to climb up there and show that 3-point range that got him to Western Kentucky. Campbellsville with the inbound. Loaded out to Kramer. Kramer so far in this one, 3 points, only 3 shot attempts, the 1-3 ball landing. Hard drive into the hole, laid up wide, tipped off the window and saved by Myers. Here comes WKU. Ahead Hafner driving hard. Hands off to Cada. Cada fakes, goes up and lays it in. Great job to get Evans off his feet.
Yeah, just a heads-up play by Hafner, finding Cada underneath. And here come the Hilltoppers again in transition.
Fast attack, and 7 straight points have got WKU a 16-point lead as that corner three is put up short. Great contest, and Myers closes the rebound up to Hackman. Here comes WKU with run and gun as Hafner sets up corner. Too strong on the three. Bill pulls the rebound down for Campbellsville and slows the pace up. Evans, who engages a lot of action up top, tries to set the screen as the foul is called against Western Kentucky by John Deering, one of our referees. It's on Hafner. Dalton Kramer getting a foul out of WKU as Hafner subs out for Armello Boone. It looks like Jay Milburn is checking back into the game for Campbellsville. Milburn so far 2 of 2, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 points. Done a lot of everything for this team, including run some of their screen action as Kramer bounced it inside, and the ball stolen by Boone. Boone races out of the starting gate, goes scoop into the score. What a move by Boone. This guy can leap.
Well, he's really fast with the ball in transition. That's the second time tonight we've seen him go coast to coast and finish at the rim.
Corner three on the way, out of the rim, Hackman clears. WKU starting to settle down as the three-point shot has left Campbellsville a bit, while Myers hits him back with a long-range dart.
That's pretty deep. A little bit of a heat check, but I would say Ryan Myers got the green light whenever he wants it.
Already 3 threes for Ryan Myers. He leads the Hilltoppers with 11 points. Also has 5 rebounds in that guard spot. This Hilltopper team picking up the slack without Brian Silabonge for the rest of the year. Left wing three by Vale on the great movement is short rim. And now Vale unable to move up the floor, and a timeout is called to attend to an injured Tiger. Oh boy. Campbellsville with an injured Tiger already missing tonight, and now watching Marcellus Vale come up limp and hop his way back over to the bench.
I'm not sure what happened, if he came down on a foot after the shot attempt or what. I was blocked, didn't see it, but that doesn't look good. He's not want to put much weight on it at all.
As WKU continues to boost their lead, this run now taking 12 straight in the last 3 minutes, giving them their largest lead of the contest. The Hilltoppers playing for the moment without Tegan Moore after he came up limp on his last drive to the basket and checked out of the game. Already without Murdix till hopefully January, and losing Brian Silabonge for the rest of the season to a torn Achilles. Boone with a headstrong turn, gets the ball poked out, saves it for the fadeaway. That was a heat check shot, but Boone cleans up his mess and stays with it for the finish.
A little bit of off-balance shot there, maybe not the best look for Boone on the first attempt, but follows it right up with an easy one.
WKU taking over in the last 6 minutes. 18-3 run as Milburn drives to the hoop and gets fouled. A foul called on Hilltopper big Noah Boyd, and Jay Milburn will suit up at the free throw line. And now if you're Campbellsville, that 3-point shot's left you. You might have to get a little bit more physical if you want to get back in this one.
Yeah, and the tempo most certainly is gone in West Kentucky's favor here recently after Campbellsville had such a strong start, and recently Western's been able to get out a run, and Campbellsville has not been able to force them into a half-court game offensively as of late. That's how they've been able to extend this lead.
Milburn's first foul shot good, and he hits them both. Shooting over 70% this year, Jay Milburn, the longtime Campbellsville Tiger, averaging 11 and 7 over the last 2 seasons as a mainline starter for Campbellsville. Brings them down 21 as the Hilltoppers try to work it up low and slow, waste the clock. 35 seconds left before we call it a half, and the Tops trying to go up big entering halftime as Myers drives to the hole, feeds Boyd, and Boyd brings the house down.
Big time feed from Myers. Did a great job moving without the basketball to get downhill, and Boyd with the ready hands in the finish.
Noah Boyd having the night of his life. 9 points, been efficient, 3 of 5 from the foul line, 3 of 3 overall with 4 boards, and he's got the Tops up 51-28 as that 3-ball rims out to Boone. Boone to Myers, 2 seconds. Myers from just above the three-point line gets fouled. With 1/10 of a second to spare. That's a moment Campbellsville would love to have back.
Yeah, that's the last thing you want to do there. Just stay out of his way, get a hand up, but definitely don't want to foul. This is the last way you want to end the half for Campbellsville.
Ryan Myers with 11, looking to add to it. Does so, hitting the first free throw. Ryan Myers, not a guy you want to send to the line. Came into this one shooting 13 of 17. Keeps that form intact as the Tops look for 2 more foul shots. Myers strokes it like the southpaw style he can. One final nail in a big first half for WKU to enter the locker room up massive. And Myers hits all 3. How fitting. First half comes to a close, and Campbellsville making a run of it, but losing their steam as their three-point shot hitting early, not hitting lately, and WKU enters halftime of 54-28 over a 12-1 NAIA program from Campbellsville, Kentucky. This is college basketball heating up here in Diddle on ESPN+, and we'll be back to recap the first half as the Tops lead big on a holiday-themed day of college basketball. What a thrilling first half of basketball as WKU really stretched things out once it was just a 9-point game and enters the second half of 54-28 over an NAIA power from the middle of the Commonwealth. These highlights, what back and forth action we had early going, but a lot of physicality by WKU really demonstrating their willingness to attack the basket even without the services of Brian Silabonge. And then the three-point shooting for Campbellsville really kept them in play early, but it's not like the Hilltoppers didn't have their responses right back, Jay.
Yeah, made a few of their own. Ryan Myers, always hot. You see Cam Hafner hitting one there off an offensive rebound, and so those have been the 2 guys for the Hilltoppers that really shot at a high level. You know, not a lot of other guys with the great percentages from 3, so good to see those guys knock some shots down.
A lot of bodies being laid on the line here today in this fast-paced battle. Tegan Moore suffering a slight injury early on the first half. And then on the other end, you see a lot of those three-pointers landing early for Campbellsville. Before things like this started to happen, Marcellus Vale suffering a little scare, having to be helped back to the bench. Good news, though, is that WKU just kept the pace right on top of Campbellsville's throat, and Armello Boone made some pretty crafty moves attacking the basket.
Yeah, he did that a couple times, got out on the break and was able to get to the rim and finish, and he's been electric in the open floor like that. He can make some plays.
Ryan Myers providing the three-point ambush, and these lightsabers taking fans through a thrilling halftime display. Like you said, Jay, the force has been strong with these Hilltoppers. And it's great to see Tegan Moore joining the team to warm up before the start of the second half. Looks like both of the Tigers and the Hilltoppers will still have everybody they came into this game with.
Yeah, Tegan Moore reached off there, he's young, adrenaline will probably get him through tonight. He might feel it a little bit tomorrow, but I expect to see him back on the floor doing what he does.
So if you're looking at this Hilltopper team and the way they asserted themselves down the back 9 of that first half of play, what needs to stay the main thing if they want to pull out a dominant win here today?
Well, I guarantee you Hank Quona's telling them in the locker room, say, hey, look, I want to start the second half the way we finished the first. No let up. Let's establish our dominance, not let them get back in and try to cut this thing down at all. We want to play the way we want to play, get out in transition, continue to run off turnovers, continue to run off of defensive rebounds, and, you know, put it out of doubt.
Then if you're Campbellsville, how do you keep the message what it's been if you want to keep those three-point shots looking as clean as they were for the first part of that game?
Well, they got to control the tempo. The transition defense got to be better. Slow this thing down a little bit, and then offensively, they've got to get back to what they were doing early in the game, where they were moving the ball, changing sides of the floor. A lot of guys touching and getting open looks instead of the forced ones that you saw later in the half.
Ryan Myers, our first half star, with a game-high 14 points, inbounds to Moore. And the Hilltoppers still playing with everybody they entered this game with outside of Murdix and Silabonge. Murdix, the point guard for WKU's first couple of weeks, hoping to be back with the team come conference play in January. So Lebonge, a torn Achilles, out for the rest of the season as that shot by Moore rims off and Boyd clears it. Noah Boyd having a monster game, shows his size and skill underneath for another score.
Big time job of holding off Milburn there on the offensive glass and going back up strong with the finish.
Milburn on the catch out front, holds it and hands off to Briggs. Kramer, the slip pass to Milburn, 6 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and the counter pass far side to Briggs leads him to drive and kick it. Javon Smith looking over, and the corner three is coming up and laced. There's that 3 ball that works so well for Campbellsville re-entering the chat.
Tough look there, but Briggs able to knock it down, and a good start for the Tigers offensively.
Ryan Myers looking around this high zone defense to Newell as Newell's 3 ball goes too hard. WKU still struggling to shoot the 3 ball at the level they've had the last couple of games. Staying adamant though to attack the basket and find some openings as that pass is saved by Newell. Myers off the whip, driving right side, slips in and gets fouled by Campbellsville. Great move by Myers as the foul is called on Dalton Kramer.
Yeah, it gets downhill and just forces Kramer to commit the foul.
Stand corrected, the foul was called on Briggs as Myers' corner 3 comes up short and the rebound gets chased down by Hackman. Hilltoppers demonstrating hustle and earning another shot at the ball. 56-31 WKU with 18:20 left in this one. Right wing 3 by Moore, canned.
Pick and pop, creates the space, and able to knock it down.
Tegan Moore, not much of a 3-point shooter, that's only his 4th of the year. It gives WKU a little life. And in addition to their huge 28-point lead, 18 minutes to go. The final pre-conference week for WKU. Don't want to leave anything on the table as Kramer rims the 3 off to Newell. Newell looks ahead to Moore. Moore inside to Boyd. Boyd turns to the hoop and lays it in soft as silk. Oh boy. Noah Boyd holding on to that left hand of his. And you hate to see another Hilltopper suffer an injury scare. Oh, that's tough. Noah Boyd's been having such a great game. 13 points after this easy catch inside and the soft lay-in right at the cup.
When you get your big men to run the floor like that, good things can happen. And he's rewarded there with the finish. And let's hope his hand's okay. Looks like he's grabbing his left hand. So
not a shooting hand, luckily.
Yeah.
Milburn whips it over. Up top to Briggs. He lets it fly. Short. Simona another rebound in his busiest day as a Hilltopper. Quick cut by Simona and the kick. Great move, and Myers makes it worth it.
Great job, Simona. He's shown the ability to put the ball on the floor a lot of times tonight. Gets in an open floor and creates, and he knows where the shooter is. Finds Ryan Myers, and we've said it before, Ryan Myers is that open, he's going to knock it down.
His 4th 3. Now Kramer letting it fly right wing, and he swishes one home. Beautiful shot for the leading Campbellsville scorer, Dalton Kramer. Hasn't been his night though. So far, Kramer only 6 points on those 2 3 balls as Newell gets stripped. Epps loses the slip, but the foul bails out a turnover by Campbellsville. Looks like that one was going to be called on LJ Hackman or Tegan Moore. Either way, the Tops have a huge lead and they sub in Armello Boone as Grant Newell, having a little bit of a struggle here tonight, gets sent back to the bench while Epps takes a seat for Campbellsville. Milburn the catch. Circling out front, Smith whips to Kramer. Kramer averaging 17 for Campbellsville, only 2 threes tonight. Milburn on the catch inside, and the foul keeps him from scoring on close contact. That one on Ryan Myers, a mismatch that Milburn worked beautifully.
Yeah, he did a really good job of holding his seal, maintaining the contact with the defender, and forcing the foul.
Smith with the switch on to Simona, the bounce feed under Milburn, and he skies up for the soft scoop and score.
Yeah, did it again. Just buried his defender in the paint and made it easy on the passer to get him the ball.
Ryan Myers, hedged by Milburn, holds it out near midcourt as WKU remains up by 28. 16 minutes left. Whistles blow, and we've got more close contact as Jay Milburn takes a seat under the right end of the basket. Looks like he's in some pain.
Yeah, he stepped on a foot.
So another Tiger comes up a little limp. Good news is Jay Milburn is strong enough to carry himself back to the bench, where he'll take a moment. Doesn't look like it's something too serious that he can't come back into the game eventually, but we'll see what the trainer can do for him. Bounce feed nearly stolen away, and last touch by Hackman. Ball goes back to Campbellsville. What a jump.
Good defense there by Smith, creating the deflection.
So Armello Boone given some time on the floor, subs back out, and Grant Newell, after a quick chat with Coach Plona, subs back in. Newell this season, in his 10th start, 41% shooter for 10 points a game, one of 3 Hilltoppers averaging double figures nightly. So far, Newell only 5 points, has not hit a field goal, all 5 of his points at the line. Vaughn Smith, the prodding pass out front. Jones, the kick from the corner. Moore cutting off the drive by Smith. Fading 3 by Bridge, short. Offensive rebound put back in by Jones, and Campbellsville keeps on collecting. Now Moore with a downhill drive, kicks to Simona, wide open. He drains the synced up 3.
Second one for Simona tonight, and it's a welcome sight for Hank Plona. Need more guys knocking down the 3-point shot for West Kentucky.
Louis Simona had not hit a 3 until tonight, and he's got 2 of them as Newell cuts off the shot by Jones. Great defense without fouling, and now Newell pushes. Driving into the hole, lays it up high, misses it, but gets fouled. 15 minutes left in this thrilling battle, but WKU's physicality winning them the battle so far. 67-38 over Campbellsville. Western Kentucky trying to shore up their stoke heading into conference play. Western Kentucky has the 67-38 advantage over NAIA's Campbellsville University Tigers. With 15 minutes left, a lot of players having to step up due to the injuries the Tops have faced, and one of them has been the big guy, Louis Simona.
Yeah, it's good to see the ball go in. You know, for this Hilltoppers team, we really only got Cam Hafner and Ryan Myers who have shot it well percentage-wise from behind the arc. So Hank Plona's searching for a couple other guys that can step up and hit from distance and spread the floor a little bit. And Simona tonight has shown the range.
Louis Simona, season-high 8 points, but Grant Newell, now with 6 made free throws for a Hilltopper team that lives at the foul line.
Yeah, that last possession, Grant Newell did a great job of defending without foul. Got the block shot, taking it himself coast to coast, and able to earn the 2 shots.
Now Campbellsville, whose 3-point shot has been the thing that's kept them hanging around, trying to build some confidence back, but they turn it back over, and Simona gets it turned over right back. The awareness as Smith whips it inside. Briggs around the paint. Jones catches, lays it up, and scores the swirl. That's a lot of bang-bang action, but Campbellsville finds a way to come up with what they need as Simona drives in, gives it up. Hafner circling. Simona on the lookout, over Jones into Newell. Newell gets backing. Double team comes, Newell trying to split it, goes up and works it for the foul. Grant Newell, he's been winning a lot of those so far and earning his chances at the line.
Well, that's one of the things he does best. He doesn't shy away from the contact, and he knows right where to go.
Grant Newell back at the free throw line with 8 points, or 7. Now he's got 8. 8 for 8 shooting at the foul line by Grant Newell, where he's generated all of his offense here tonight. But as you and I both know, Jay, a player like that collects fouls like Newell has, it can really affect a game for your opponent.
It really does. Not only do you get yourself an opportunity to score easy ones at the charity stripe, but it just puts pressure on the other team's depth and, creates a lot of problems for them defensively.
Grant Newell with a career best showing at the free throw line, 9 for 9 for his 9 points as WKU up 71-40 in a tune-up game against NAIA's Campbellsville U. Team from the center of Kentucky, a proud NAIA program off to their best start since 2018. This game won't even count in the record book for Campbellsville. It's an exhibition for them and a great test for their spirits as they get back to their usual level of competition. Kramer with the back down. Only 6 points tonight for Kramer, averaging 17 a game. Evans looks for his shot. Goes too strong as Moore gets the rebound out and shows that physicality that isn't leaving him. Up ahead, it's Newell. He spots a three. He strokes a three, and Grant Newell finally gets a field goal.
Textbook fast break for West Kentucky right there. Ball hardly ever touched the floor. Started with a defensive rebound and a great outlet pass from Tegan Moore. And Grant Newell, the beneficiary of the open pass from the corner.
I know we talked a lot about Campbellsville's depth, but one thing about this WKU team, Jay, is that they've got options more so than in years past. Floater by Myers misses everything. Not the worst shot, but not the best look. Now Smith brings it back up for Campbellsville. Evans does a lot of the high-low entry passes that have helped Campbellsville get off to the strong start where they won their first 11 out of the gate. Evans the back down, no whistle, passes underneath to Jones, and Jones gets inside again. Jones has been a real nuisance under the basket. A lot of shots his way have landed.
It's kind of like the Bryant Silabonge of this Campbellsville team. Just a lot of the dirty work, always around the rim, brings the energy.
Myers spotting that three, and he's fouled again on a three-point shot. Jones the guilty party.
And third time tonight that Campbellsville has fouled a three-point shooter. Just not heads-up basketball.
They do know that WKU came in here shooting below 32% from deep, so you don't have to cover him that much. But that's how good Ryan Myers has been shooting the three ball. They give him that respect.
Yeah, he's certainly one of the guys that you got to get out and contest, but you just got to get a hand up and give him space to land and not put him at the line for three easy ones.
Ryan Myers, not a heavy free throw shooter. That one his first miss. He's 3 of 4 tonight. 17 for Myers to lead the cause. And he strokes that free throw, has one more on the way. Armello Boone checking back in where he's made some noise here tonight with his incredible open fast break speed. And good news, Hilltopper fans, a local product from Warren Central. Kate Unseld gets to check in and earn some minutes tonight. That's always going to get the hometown crowd happy to see Unseld on the floor as Myers looks for the 2 of 3 trip and swishes home the free throw. WKU now up 76-44 with under 13 minutes left from what looks like win number 7 in the first 10 games to match last year's start through 10 games by WKU. Evans the back down on the mismatch, takes the soft hook shot on Boone and finishes. He ain't skipping no Thanksgiving meals, and Evans takes the mismatch for what it's worth straight to the hole.
Yeah, struggled a little bit offensively tonight, but I tell you what Evans will do is set a mean screen. You better be talking on defense when you're guarding him because he will put the wood to you.
Moore winning his own miss inside, forcing the shot up and not landing as that rebound is swallowed up by Evans. Doesn't get off the floor very highly, but he boxes out pretty dang well. Evans over to Kramer. Kramer slips by Unseld to the hoop and misses that runner. Myers tries to save the rebound and does so to Boyd. Noah Boyd gets to play point center. Holds it out for Boone. Boone not wanting to shoot the three. It's been kind of an Achilles heel for him over these last 3 games after shifting to a more point role as Boone drives in right side, misses the runner, and Boyd ends up tipping the rebound out, but it was last touched by Evans. Immediate timeout on the way. And if you're WKU, the physicality has been to your liking. In the final week of pre-conference action, the Tops don't want to leave anything on the table as the holidays are in full bloom for the Hilltoppers, up by 30 with under 12 to go on Campbellsville. The Capitol Theater. A Miracle on 34th Street playing during this middle December madness as the holidays have gripped Bowling Green, and Hilltopper Country must be happy with the 30-point showing they've seen so far for WKU. No miracles needed. Western Kentucky winning the battle like they should with physicality and a will to go to the basket, and it seems to be helping them out pretty well here, Jay Walton.
Yeah, just definitely knew going in they're going to have a size advantage, a little bit more length, a little bit more athleticism, and yeah, been able to take advantage of some opportunities, mostly in transition on the offensive glass. And, just a little bit too much for this Campbellsville team tonight.
Another asset that the Tops have been sporadic to use as of late has been their three-point shot tonight. 9 of 22. It took a while to get off the mat, but as of late, WKU's three ball is really starting to be unlocked.
Yeah, and like we talked about, they got a couple different guys making some shots tonight. Louis Simona knocking a couple down, and so that's a good thing to see. And you know, in a game like this, and you know, it's easy to shoot them, or easier to shoot them when you're up 30. But it's a confidence builder, and give those guys a boost going into to a Conference USA play.
Newell to Boone. Boone slipping in, gives back to Newell, who just hit a three. Hilltoppers 9 of 22 from distance. That ball ricochets to Smith for the run back by the Tigers. Campbellsville in a game that won't count towards their 12-1 record, certainly earning their stripes against this strong and physical Hilltopper team. Now Smith's got Cada out on the perimeter and looks to Jones, the inside force. Smith losing his handle, dribbles it back to give to Evans, and Evans holds the ball against Cada. Double team on Evans, he holsters, gets going left baseline. Spins around for the hook shot, too strong. And Myers runs the rebound out for the Tops. Myers in the paint, steps in, floats it, misses. Cada the offensive rebound, gets it ripped away by Vale. Here comes Campbellsville. I'll say this, Jay, these Tigers, you can see why they're one of the best teams in the NAIA ranks right now with this 12-1 start.
Yeah, I think a lot of this team, I'm excited to see what they're able to do when they get into their league play and down the stretch of this season. You know, a little bit outclassed tonight, tough night for them, but they got a lot of positives. They got a lot of weapons, they got a lot of balance, great chemistry, good guard play. They don't turn the ball over, got multiple guys that can make three-point shots, and so got a lot of good things going, and they'll be able to, you know, take some good things from this game. The outcome's not going to be what they want, but they'll be able to watch the film and see some of the plays that they're able to make and learn from it.
Myers catches the loose change, and his floater falls short. Cato winning the battle inside, and he looks out front to Unseld. Thank you! It's been a while since we've seen a bucket go in for either of these teams, so for Kate Unseld, that's got to be pretty good to see that one fall through.
Yeah, Cato with the offensive rebound, finds his teammate wide open to the top of the key.
A lot of bodies bouncing around on this hard action between these two teams. Grand Newell gets a breather after missing that inside shot. Well, look at this wide open look. Unselfish move by Cato. When he could have had an inside score, he finds the redshirt freshman from Warren Central.
Yeah, offensive rebounding seems to lead to a lot of open three-point shots, and certainly what happened on that possession. Unseld with the hands and feet ready to knock it down.
Right-wing three, too strong. And the rebound comes with contact as Hackman gets flopped to the floor. Campbellsville electing to give one away down there as WKU's lead remains astronomical after that foul was committed by Cannon Young. This is a kid that doesn't play a lot for Campbellsville. They have their 9-man rotation pretty set, so Young trying to make the most of a season where he's only had 15 minutes on the floor. Hackman using the Unseld screen, looks to Boone. Boone with Smith, dribbles him down to the post, takes the fade. Nice move by Boone to get to his spot. That is a confident shot.
Great job going to his right, elevating for the mid-range.
Here's Young, matched up against former Cornhusker Blaze Cada, and Young a little too jittery, throws that one away, looking for the back door.
Cheerleaders got to have their hands ready down there on the baseline.
Oh my goodness, she got the worst of that one. Hopefully that cheerleader will be okay. Tells the story of tonight, a lot of fast action between these teams as WKU's balance on full display, helping them match their average. The team that scores usually in the 80s. Hackman, headstrong, kicks it. Simona from the corner, tops off the three.
Yeah, Simona got the confidence going tonight. Seen a few go down early, and that was a great catch and shoot.
If you're Louis Simona, you see the injury to Brian Silabonga, and obviously your first thought is with your teammate, but now you see the opportunity in front of you, and it seems Simona is really taking advantage of his chance to shine here today. Good force of the action by Boone. He runs up, takes it in, and scores the soft layup. Thank you very much, Armella. Okay, this game is going exactly the way the Hilltoppers hoped for, as that fakes into the three ball and it rims out. Cada collects. The Hilltoppers have all gas going on the pedal as Boone to the hoop, skies in and scores! Whoa, what body control by Boone!
Two pretty good finishes in a row in transition for Boone.
16 for Armello Boone, and he's got WKU catapulted into a massive lead. 8 minutes to go, timeout on the floor, and we'll take it with him. The fast-flying Armello Boone continues to dazzle the Hilltoppers. Happy holidays, people. It's 88-46, Tops on top. night where Armello Boone has been so vital both defensively and offensively. The look in his eyes says it all, Jay Walton. He is making a real impact on this one.
Well, I just was about to say, I love the look that he had in that huddle. He's got eye contact. He's locked in, a couple of yes sirs. And so, yeah, he is certainly doing what he does here tonight. Very efficient. After a couple of tough outings in the last ball game or two, he's 8 for 11 tonight to go along with 8 rebounds. And he's got great length, and when he's active like that and gets his hands in passing lanes, that's trouble for the other team, and he can really create some early offense with those deflections.
A confident Armello Boone makes for a confident feel to the Hilltoppers operation, and Boone has been everything he's needed to be tonight, having his best game since he was called to shift his role off of Murdix into more of a point guard. I'll say by Young, he's still having trouble with the dribble, but slips it over. A drive in, and there's the swat by Boone, nearly getting the steal, and he's okay to give away the foul.
The foul is on the Hilltoppers, number 12.
All right, another break on the way, and Boone is unloading as the Tops have a huge lead on the back of Armello Boone. What a dandy. Under 8 minutes to go. WKU in a giving mood with holiday fever in the air. WKU leading big over Campbellsville. And the reason why, Jay, is this has probably been the best passing game the Tops have had since you and I last called their win versus Tennessee State.
Yeah, you know what? They have shared the ball very well tonight. Not a lot of turnovers, and, you know, it's created a lot of good looks on offense, and they've shot it at a high clip tonight.
Time to see what Western Kentucky has in store as they've got some impact players on the floor right now, specifically Armello Boone and Louis Simona. Boone having his best game since the injury to Terrion Murdix forced him to play more point. And Louis Simona, given the season-ending injury to backup big man Brian Silabonge, he is making the most of his minutes as the bailout foul keeps the Hilltoppers from running another attack to the rack.
Yeah, Simona certainly a different type of player than Silabonge. Not as physical, you know, more skilled, better shooter, all that. But he's going to have to play more minutes.
And with a game like tonight, you hope his confidence will ascend, and he will be the guy the Hilltoppers need, as that ball is bounced right off of the intended target. It was almost a brilliant play made there by Rob Briggs, but the ball bounced right back off him on his way out of bounds.
It's that kind of night for Campbellsville. Just a lot of things not going their way this evening.
And ultimately, you can't put too much stock into this one. This is just a learning kind of night for Campbellsville, a game they wouldn't have taken as a win or a loss, whether or not they had won it or lost it. And it will carry them with confidence to know that early on they were doing a lot of good things right as Simona continues to have the hot hand from deep.
Good for him. Yeah, just hopefully this will carry over after tonight, you know, and give them another weapon offensively.
Campbellsville learning what it takes, having some success with a 3-ball early against WKU before the Tops settled in. Young tied up, and the foul saves the effort by Cam Young. Or Cannon Young, excuse me. This is something, I know the game is well out of hand with under 7 minutes to go, but if you're Hank Plona, you don't want to see your Hilltoppers suddenly get sloppy trying to defend without fouling.
No, you want to play your game and not let things get out of hand, like you said. Just execute, do the things we want to do, and get some of these bench players involved a little bit.
Simona gets the lucky inbound steal, finds Unseld for a trailer. Too strong on the 3, offensive board. Keita puts it back up, and he gets hammered on the way down. Keita once again asserts himself on the glass as the foul is collected against Campbellsville's Evan Frederick. Look at this second effort. Blaze Keita, the big body, showing you just why he was playing in the Big Ten a year ago.
Yeah, just a tough night on the glass for Campbellsville.
Unable to hit that free throw, a little too strong on the back touch. Blaze Keita earning another chance to boost WKU's seismic lead. This has been the kind of night the Hilltoppers love to report against a lower level opponent, on the verge of doubling up the score from what Campbellsville has to what WKU's collected. Keita does just that. Twice as many points tonight for Western Kentucky, which if you're the Hilltopper fans is exactly the kind of result you wanted to see against an NAIA school.
Yeah, and with the injuries that you've had, you want to see a couple guys step up and show you some things that you can carry over, add to your depth a little bit. And two guys tonight, Louis Simona and Noah Boyd, have been able to do that. And great efficiency from both of those players, and give Coach Plona confidence that they can do that moving forward.
Tops with 5 different players who have scored at least 10. Simona and Boyd, 2 of them, as Boyd's got 13. 6 boards. Well, that 3 ball misses everything. Goes back to Western Kentucky, and Louis Simona, the other star off the bench, 4 of 5. All of his field goals from deep with 2 foul shots. He's got 14 points in the season best showing.
Well, one of the signs of a well-coached team is when you're up big like this and you know the outcome is already established. You're still playing hard and defending. And props to L.J. Hackman for getting after them on the defensive end. There he is with an assist to Boone for the backdoor dunk.
Hilltoppers continuing to lay the wood down against Campbellsville. A great NAIA challenger here in Diddle, as the Tops have one more pre-conference test ahead of them this Friday against one of the best mid-majors out of Tulsa and the Golden Hurricanes of the American, as Simona drives to the hole and shows you he can take it to the hoop as well as shoot it from deep.
Yeah, great finish, getting downhill in transition.
Louis Simona seems like a 3-level scorer if I've ever seen one, and I know it's against an NAIA team as Kramer strokes the 3. But Louis Simona showing you just how deep his offensive arsenal is here tonight. This kind of performance, you're hoping it'll carry over against even level competition like Tulsa this Friday. Boone to the hoop, his scoop wide. Boyd slapping the rebound over into the hands of Briggs. And Kramer pushes it for Campbellsville. Down big, trying to show they've still got plenty of fight in those dogs as they head their way back into the regular NAIA level of play. Ball poked out by Hackman, remains the Tigers.
Into the game for the Tigers, number 0, Tavion Smith. Into the game for the Hilltoppers, number 5, Jack Edelman.
So Hackman and Boone take a breather. The crowd serenading Boone in a soft applause for his incredible efforts tonight. Mello Boone checking out here, 18 points, 8 rebounds. Leading the Tops in one of those categories, backing up Ryan Myers, 19. So Myers got a lot of his work done in the first half. Left side drive, cut off, the fader on the way, off the rim, ricochets right to Moore. Tegan Moore, only 7 points tonight on 8 shot attempts, hasn't needed to carry the Hilltoppers like he has at times this year. Now watches the ball get poked away by Smith. Smith up the other way, lays it home. Okay, so it's not the night that Tegan Moore was hoping he would have, but he's happy to see that the rest of his team has certainly come to play.
Yeah, luckily for West Kentucky, they didn't need him to have a huge night tonight. But certainly want to see him stay in a good rhythm and have some success. And just hope that ankle injury that he, tweaked a little bit early in the game is going to be all right moving forward.
Smith holds out front, whips it to the other Smith. The feed inside to Frederick, leads him to kick it over to Briggs as Briggs takes the high hook and rolls it in off the back ring. So Campbellsville showing their fight, still piecing together some quality shots and some easier scores than what we saw for the majority of this game. Simona, the swing pass, Moore letting it fly. Seems Moore is committed to the 3-ball, which is not a big part of his arsenal, but he wants to show he's got it.
Yeah, normally you see him more around the basket, creating contact into the foul line, creating angles inside, but yeah, able to step out and knock a couple down tonight.
Frederick taking the headstrong drive and a tussle for the ball with Boyd. And it brings us to our final stoppage of the night. It's been a night to remember for our Mello Boone. 18-8 for the freshman. And WKU utilizing a deep approach to this dominant 99-53 score. With the spirit is striking here in Diddle Arena. The last week of pre-conference play in Western Kentucky off a brilliant performance from freshman Armello Boone and company. And I do stress the and company part, Jay. This has been a complete team effort to build this 99-53 score.
Yeah, everybody getting in on the act tonight, as you would expect in a game like this against an NAIA opponent. At least that's what you hope for, and they responded. Yep.
3 minutes left. And if you're Hank Plono, what else do you want to see from WKU to build some confidence heading into your final pre-conference test against a 10-win Tulsa team?
Well, you got 3 minutes left. You got an opportunity to get some of these guys that practice hard every day, don't always get an opportunity to show what they can do in the game, and you want to see them get out there and play well. And you want to see your bench be involved and be happy for those guys and celebrate together this big win.
Rob Briggs letting it fly, gets the 3-ball to fall. If there's anything Campbellsville can take away from tonight, even against the top teams that struggle to follow 3 points on defense, it's that their 3-point shot can really land them in some big spots early.
Yeah, you know, regardless of what happened tonight, they'll be able to take some things away, and they knew that it was going to be a tall task, and they were going to have to play really, really well, and almost hope that Western had an off night to win this game, but they'll learn from it. It's a great experience to come and play on this level and against a higher level opponent. It'll make them better when they get into Mid-South play for sure.
Off the screen, the hook pass from Benjamin Yambi, given back to Cannon Young. He's played a heavier role tonight than he has at any point this season. Young hop steps in the box, goes up and gets the foul. And one on Cam Hafner of Western Kentucky. Hafner not needing to get his 3-ball going like in the past. It seems like now you've got a couple players that can let the 3-ball fly, including Louis Simona in a breakout game.
Yeah, they could use a little bit more of that, as we have discussed. You know, the 3-point shot is such a big part of the way the game is played today. And, you know, to only have 2 or 3 guys shooting at a high percentage is a rare thing today in college basketball. So, yeah, the more Simona can get involved and see a few more go down, that will just make them a lot better offensively, especially when they're forced to slow down and play in the half-court set.
Well, you got Jack Edelin on the floor. Received more minutes in spots ever since Murdoch's injury as he finds Hafner stepping out and Rick in the 3-ball down nicely.
There you go, right on cue. You know, one thing about Cam Hafner I love is that whenever he catches the ball, he is ready to shoot. He doesn't need a lot of time to get his shot off. His hands and feet are always ready to let fly, and able to squeeze the trigger quickly on that last possession.
Jay, tonight is the first time WKU's eclipsed triple digits scoring the basketball since February 1st earlier this year when they hammered New Mexico State by 36 in that key conference win, the best of Hank Plona's first year on the Hill. So how fitting. We get a 100-point game in conference earlier on in 2025, and this Hilltopper team with a lot of new faces puts one up here to close the season down for the calendar year in Diddle. One more home game to go, though, before conference play begins on the road at Jacksonville State, and you better believe WKU will try and find some more answers in the big matchup they have with Tulsa this Friday here in Diddle. That Tulsa team, as good as any in the mid-major right now, 10 wins already.
Certainly a Conference USA-like opponent will get you ready, you know, into league play. But here at home, another chance for these guys to go out and perform in front of this home crowd.
Jumper from the right wing, too strong. Rebound ricochets to Edelin, and we are in the final minute from what looks like a blowout tune-up game for Western Kentucky against Campbellsville. Good kick in the corner 3 by Hafner, too strong. Rebound rims out to Yambi. Campbellsville's little used guard brings it up. Yambi looks to Briggs. Briggs here tonight, 11 points, 3 threes, but Yambi lets it fly, too strong. Offensive rebound by Young, swirls inside, and he gets fouled on the way up. Foul committed by Cade Unseld, the Hilltopper redshirt freshman.
Cannon Young battling hard out there tonight, making the most of his minutes here toward the end of this game.
Cannon Young bends the knees, and the Albany, Kentucky native swishes the free throw. Campbellsville still hasn't scored a field goal in over 2.5 minutes, but they are getting their foul shots in. Both roll in. Cannon Young, a big smile on his face as the kid tracks back on the floor for defense. WKU, with only 2 seconds difference between the shot and the game clock, can basically hold for the final shot of the game. Up 102-58 on Campbellsville. Edelin swirls the pass over to Stinnen. His corner 3 is short. Yambi, the rebound, races out for Campbellsville, looking for the final answer in this lopsided win for WKU as Young lets it fly. Shorts the 3 and Stinnett wrestles the rebound away. Holds it, and Western Kentucky can let the buzzer sound on a dominant tune-up display against the NAIA's Campbellsville Tigers. Final score, WKU 102, Campbellsville 59, as the Tops earned their 7th win in their first 10 games.
Yeah, just kind of what these fans and everybody expected to happen tonight, and yeah, good vibes all around for Western Kentucky. Regroup, practice, nurse a couple of injuries, and you know, big test on Friday night.
Yes, and needing everyone to play their best, and tonight Armello Boone certainly played as good as anybody. 18 points, 8 rebounds, efficient with his shot and his ability to finish inside around the rim. Armello Boone lighting it up for WKU and giving the Hilltoppers a well-deserved tune-up win over Campbellsville as our player of the game.
He was on the attack all night, doing what he does best, making things happen in the open floor. Most of his shots were right at the rim because he's so aggressive. But yeah, great game for him, and you know, not playing like a freshman anymore.
No, needs to play a big role for this team if he wants to help the Hilltoppers ascend to the top of Conference USA. But the kid that's already earned a couple of CUSA Freshman of the Week awards certainly looks like a candidate for Freshman of the Year if he keeps playing like this.
Yeah, I would expect to see that happen 2 or 3 more times throughout the rest of this season. And yeah, especially until you get to Murdoch's back off his injury, going to be an expanded role for him. And good to see him play well tonight.
WKU getting a full plate of contributors as WKU, without Brian Silabonge for the rest of the year, still plays a gritty game of basketball and helps the Hilltoppers complete this victory. 102-59. What a thrilling display. And for our guy Jay Walton and the crew, I'm Riley Chestnut, and it has been an absolute pressure to catalog tonight's happy holiday-themed Hilltopper parade. WKU victorious over a 12-win NAIA program out of Campbellsville. They sharpen their swords indeed, so happy holidays, everybody. Thank you for tuning in on ESPN+.